Good morning, class. Welcome to today's lecture. And today is social studies in your timetable. And we'll be studying the second chapter of SST, that is the Great Himalayas. Okay. So, in the previous video, we have studied about the first chapter. We have studied about natural features of India, in which we had discussed about the location of India, the extent of India, the you can say location of India in the entire globe. We have also studied about the physical features of India. We have also studied that India is the second largest country in the world. We have studied that it is the seventh largest country in the world, and second, it has the second largest population. These all we have studied. We have studied about the physical features of India. The six physical features we have studied. What are the six physical features? The great mountains of the north, or the Great Himalayas, the northern plains, the peninsular plateau, the coastal plains, the Great Indian Desert, and the islands. These are the six physical features of India. Okay, and today in this chapter, this is the chapter, the second video in today's video, that is the second chapter. We'll be studying about the Great Mountains of the North, or the Great Himalayas. Okay, so let me share screen first. So children, this is the PDF version of your, you can say, of your chapter. Okay, I'll be teaching from this PDF version only. So let us start. Children, the most striking physical feature of our country is the Great Mountain Wall of the North. The wall is made by the Himalayas. It separates the Indian subcontinent from rest of Asia. So we know that the great mountains wall of the north, it means the Great Himalayas, are the most important physical feature of India. Okay, why it is important physical feature of India? Because it separates the Indian subcontinent. You know, India is a subcontinent. It separates the Indian subcontinent with the rest of Asia. You can see in here also, see where I'm moving. Here, these are the Great Himalayas. Okay. In the Great Himalayas, see, these are the Great Himalayas, and this is the rest of Asia. So it is separating these Indians. See where I'm moving my mouse. These are separating, the Great Himalayas are separating the Indian subcontinent from the rest of Asia. This is the rest of Asia. So it is separating the Indian subcontinent from the rest of Asia. Okay, now the Himalayas are the highest mountains in the world. Yes, what are Himalayas? Himalayas are the highest mountains in the world. The word Himalayas means the abode of snow. What are Himalayas? The word Himalayas means abode of snow. Okay, because Himalayas, it is covered with snow, so most of the time it is covered, the Himalayas are made of snow. Most of the time it is made of rocks and snow. Okay, so that is what it is called. Since it has snow almost uh, in the entire year, it is covered with snow. Himalayas are covered with snow. That is why it is called abode of snow. So what does Himalayas means? Himalayas means the abode of snow. Okay. The Himalayas are called the crown of India. What are Himalayas called? These are called the crown of India. See, when you see the Indian map, see this is the Indian map. So the Himalayas, see this part where I'm moving my mouse. This part, it is looking like a crown. Okay, so it is situated in the north of India. The north part of our country is having the Himalayas. The northern part of our country is having the Himalayas. So it is like a crown to India. Okay, that is why it is called the crown of India. The Great Himalayas are called the crown of India. Okay, they are about they are about 2500 kilometers long and 160 to 450 kilometers wide. So what Himalayas are 2500 kilometers long. See, 2500 kilometers long and 160 to 400 kilometers wide. Long, wide. 2500 kilometers long and 160 to 450 kilometers wide. Okay. The Himalayan and ranges, the Himalayan and ranges stretch from Kashmir in north to Arunachal Pradesh in northeast of the country. Okay. So what, from where to where the Himalayas extend? From Kashmir to Arunachal Pradesh. Like this. This yellow color you are seeing, these are the great Himalayas. In between it is Nepal, in between Bhutan is there. So these are the great Himalayas. In yellow color you can see. The Indian Himalayas are situated in these areas. These are the great Himalayas. Okay. So it stretches from Kashmir to Arunachal Pradesh. Okay. Now, the highest peak of the world, Mount Everest, 8,848 kilometers or 8,848 meters is in Nepal. So which is the highest mountain in the world? The highest mountain in the world is Mount Everest. What is the height of Mount Everest? 8,848 meters. And where is the Mount Everest situated? The Mount Everest is situated in Nepal. Okay. So which is the highest mountain in the world? That the highest mountain in the world is Mount Everest. What is its height? The height of Mount Everest is 8,848 meters. And where is it situated? It is situated in Nepal. Okay. Now, the highest mountain peak of India is K2. Okay. So which is the highest mountain peak of India? The highest mountain peak of India is Mount K2. It is also called Mount Goodwin Austen, which is 8,611 meters in the Karakoram range. The third highest Himalayan peak of the world is Kanchenjunga, 8,598 meters, which is in Sikkim. So the highest mountain is what? Mount Everest. The second highest mountain in the world is Mount K2, which is in the Karakoram region. And what is the height of Mount K2? The height of Mount K2 is 8,611 meters. Okay. And Mount K2 is also called Mount Goodwin Austen. Okay. So the second highest mountain in the world is Mount K2. It is situated in Karakoram region. And what is the height of Mount K2? That is 8,611 meters. And it is also called Mount Goodwin Austen. Okay. So which is the third Himalayan peak of the world, or which is the third highest mountain of the world? The third highest mountain of the world is Kanchenjunga, which is situated in Sikkim. And what is the height of that mountain? 8,598 meters. Okay. Now, the Himalayas can be divided into three parallel ranges according to their height. So, the Himalayas, like this. These Himalayas can be divided into three regions, okay, depending upon their height. So what are they? First is Himdari range or the Greater Himalayas. Second is Himachal range or Lesser Himalayas. Third is Shivalik range or Outer Himalayas. So what are those three ranges? Himdari range, Himachal range and Shivalik range. Himdari range is also called Greater Himalayas. Himachal range is also called Lesser Himalayas, and Shivalik range is also called Outer Himalayas. Okay. So let us study first about Himdari range, which is the highest range of mountain in the country, which are also called Greater Himalayas. These are the highest mountains in the Himalayan range, in the Himalayan area, which ranges which remain covered with snow throughout the year. So Greater Himalayas are the highest mountains in the Himalayan range which remain covered with snow throughout the year. So the Greater Himalayas or the Himadri range, these are the highest range of mountains in India, and they are covered with snow almost throughout the year. Okay, the average elevation of the Himadri is more than 6,000 or above sea level. 6,000 above sea level. So what is the average elevation? What is the height of these kind of Himalayas? The height of these kind of Himalayas is more than 6,000 meters above sea level. Above sea level, this is the sea level, and from the sea level, it ranges to 6,000 meters long, more than 6,000 meters long. Okay. Therefore, again, I'm repeating, the height of the Greater Himalayas is above 6,000 meters, more than 6,000 meters above sea level. Okay. They contain some of the world's highest peaks, such as Mount Everest, which is 8,048 meters in Nepal, and Kanchenjunga in Sikkim. It contains mountains like Mount Everest and Kanchenjunga. Okay. Next, in the Himadri, there are very steep slopes, deep snow-filled valleys, and glaciers. Okay, so in Himadri, what are there? There are very steep slopes, deep snow-filled valleys, and glaciers. Okay, sorry. So what are Himalayas? In the Himadri, they have very steep slopes, and they are deeply snow-filled, and they have glaciers also. Okay. What are glaciers? Glaciers are huge masses of ice. What are glaciers? These are the huge masses of ice. So on the mountains of Greater Himalayas, the glaciers are there. And what are glaciers? Glaciers are the huge masses of ice. Next, when this ice begins to melt, water flows down towards the plain to form great rivers. Okay. So when these glaciers melt, so if ice melts, it forms water. This is very common thing at your home. When the ice is melted, it is converted into water. So in the Himalayas also, when the ice melts, the water flows down to the plains from great rivers. And next, if you see, the Gangotri and the Yamunotri glaciers, which give birth to Ganga and Yamuna rivers respectively, are located here. So rivers like Ganga and Yamuna, okay, or the Gangotri or Yamunotri glaciers, they are also the melted form of glaciers which comes from the Greater Himalayas, and they give birth to the rivers of Ganga and Yamuna. Gangotri glaciers gives birth to Ganga, and Yamunotri glacier gives birth to Yamuna river. Okay. So the Ganga and Yamuna rivers respectively are located here. Due to extreme cold and ice, here is no life. Okay, there is no, since there is extreme cold there, so almost no life is present on these Himalayas. Okay, nobody lives there. Now, second point is the Himachal range, which are also called the Lesser Himalayas. First it was Greater Himalayas, number two it is Lesser Himalayas. They are called Himachal range or Lesser Himalayas. What are they? This range is not as high as the Great Himalayas. It has many passes. So this type of mountains are not as high as Greater Himalayas. Okay, and it has many passes also, like Karakoram Pass. These all passes are here only. Okay, or Nathula Pass. These all passes are in Himachal range or Lesser Himalayas only. Okay. The pass is a narrow way through a mountain. Bomdila, Nathula, Shipkila, etc. are the main passes. What are pass? Pass is a narrow way through the mountain. So passes are the narrow way through the mount. These are the mountains. That is the narrow way. So these are called the passes. See, these are the passes. Okay. Now, The mountains are covered with thick vegetation. Here in Greater Himalayas are covered with snow. Here the mountains are covered with thick vegetation, means trees and forests. Okay, the mountains are covered with trees and forests. Trees of cedar, oak, pine, and fir grow here. So, which type of trees grow here? Trees like cedar, oak, pine, and fir grow in this region. Okay, there is snowfall in winter, which attracts the tourists. Okay, so in winter there is snowfall, which attracts the tourists from all over the world. Srinagar, Kullu, Manali, Mussoorie, Shimla, Nainital, Darjeeling are some beautiful hill stations situated in the lesser Himalayas. So what? So which tourist attractions like Srinagar? You know, Srinagar is a place. Kullu is a place. Manali, Mussoorie, Shimla, Nainital, and Darjeeling. These are very famous tourist locations where tourists come, and these are very beautiful hill stations. These are called hill stations, in which are situated in lesser Himalayas, where and it is also the tourist attraction of India. Many tourists come there and visit this place. Okay, these are very famous hill stations. Kedarnath and Badrinath are the most famous places of pilgrimage that too lie in the lesser Himalayas. You have heard about Kedarnath and Badrinath. So these pilgrimage also lie in the lesser Himalayas only. Now, number 3, Shivalik range or the outer Himalayas. First, we have studied about the greater Himalayas. We have studied about the lesser Himalayas. Now it is the outer Himalayas or Shivalik range. Either it is also called Shivalik range, it is also called outer Himalayas. Okay. This is the lowest range of the Himalayas. This region gets more rain and weather, and the weather is comparative. Wait. Land with unhealthy climate due to heat and humidity. Okay, so this is the lowest range of Himalayas. Okay, and this the region gets more rain and weather. So this region gets more rain, and how is the weather? The weather is comparatively land with unhealthy climate due to heat and humidity. Okay, so the climate of this region is most probably unhealthy. It has, you can say, it has heat, it has humidity. Okay, so the climate is totally different from the greater Himalayas and the lesser Himalayas. Okay, it was completely covered with forest, but now the forests have been cleared and many people have settled here. They grow a variety of crops such as wheat, rice, sugarcane, oilseeds, etc. So here in the earlier time, these regions were completely covered with forests. But due to coming of humans, due to settling of humans, the humans and due to invention of different things, the forests have been cut. The forests have been cut out. The forests have been wiped, and people live there. They settle there, and they grow crops like wheat, rice, sugarcane, oil seeds in these Shivalik range. Okay. Now, the clearing of forest has caused soil erosion. Okay. Due to the cutting of forest, the clearing of forest, what they have caused soil erosion. What is soil erosion? Soil erosion is the transportation of soil through air, water, or any other natural means. Okay, so what is soil erosion? Soil erosion is the transportation or the removal of topsoil. Okay, soil are also different layers. The removal of topsoil from the natural resources such as air, water, wind. Okay, this is soil erosion. So when trees are there, it holds the roots of the trees, it holds the soil properly, tightly. But when the trees are uh, you can say wiped away, when they are cut off, so the soil also gets eroded with air, water, wind, etc. Okay, so that is soil erosion. So what the clearing of forest and trees, it has resulted in the soil erosion. Okay, now trees are again being planted there to conserve the soil. Now again, in those region, trees are being planted to conserve the soil. The lower range of Himalayas and the Terai region have many wild animals such as elephants, tigers, crocodiles, rhinoceros, leopards, cheetahs, bears, etc. So the lower Himalayas and the Terai region, there's a region in the lower Himalayas that is called the Terai region. They have wild animals. They are such as elephants, tigers, crocodiles, rhinoceros, leopards, cheetahs, bears, etc. They live in those regions. Okay. Next, in the higher range, you can also find snow leopards and alpine bears. In the lesser Himalayas, you can also find in a little higher range, you can find the snow leopards. Also, it is a species of leopards. Okay, that is a snow leopard, and alpine bears you can also find there. Okay, the famous Corbett National Park is in the Terai region near Nainital. So a very famous national park, that is the Corbett National Park. Where it is located? It is located in the Terai region near Nainital. Okay. So the Corbett National Park is also located in the Lesser Himalayas in the Terai region near Nainital. It has been named after a famous hunter, Jim Corbett. So a famous hunter, there was a famous hunter, Jim Corbett, and that national park is named after him. You can see a large variety of animals here. Okay. Now, okay. The Himalayas can be crossed by land routes through some passes. Okay. So the Himalayas can be crossed by land routes through some passes. How can Himalayas be crossed? Himalayas can be crossed through land routes through some passes. Nathula Pass is there, Karakoram Pass is there, Bomdila Pass is there. Okay. It can be crossed through land routes and passes. A pass is a narrow way through a mountain. As I've already explained you there, what is a pass? A pass is a narrow way through a mountain. Some of the important passes are Nathula in Sikkim, Bomdila in Arunachal Pradesh, and Shipkila in Himachal Pradesh. So these are the some important passes in India in the mountains. Now, next comes the very important part and the last part of your chapter, that is the importance of Himalayas. So how are Himalayas useful to us? So Himalayas are useful to us in the following ways. Or what are these ways? They form a natural wall in the north of India. Yes, as I've already explained that the Himalayas lie in the north, so they act as natural wall, okay, and natural barriers in the North India. Okay, so like Himalayas are very big in size, very tall in size. So in the north, they act as natural barriers. And what those natural barriers do? See the second point. They protect us from cold Siberian winds coming from the north. Okay. So what happens? The these Himalayas, they act as natural barriers, natural walls. And what are the tasks of those walls, these natural barriers? Number one, they will protect us from external enemies, like whosoever is going to attack India from north side. Since the Himalayas are very big in size, very tall in size, so it is very difficult for any enemy to cross those Himalayas and enter into our country. Okay, it acts as natural barrier there. Secondly, the whatever cold winds are blowing after India, okay, beyond after those great Himalayas, so it doesn't let those winds enter India. Those cold winds, it doesn't let those cold winds enter India. It acts as natural. So when the winds will come here, it will strike the mountains. So winds will be reflected back in those areas. Okay, that is why we don't have that much cold atmosphere in India. If mountains would not have been there in the northern part of the country, so what would be happen first? We might have deployed more army there to protect our country from that side. Still army is there, but not that much army, so we could have needed more army in that side. Secondly, if mountains would not have been there, so what used to happen, we would also experience the cold climate like in Afghanistan, okay, like in rest part of the Asia, that part of the country, rest part of Asia, the atmosphere is very cold there, very cold there due to the colder winds, Siberian winds. But in India, due to those mountains, it stops those winds coming in to enter India. Okay, now they are the sources of several big rivers which provide us water for irrigation and domestic chores. So they are the sources of several uh, big rivers, okay, which provide us water from irrigation and domestic chores. The rivers also bring fertile soil and deposit in the plain. What those rivers do? Those rivers bring fertile soil and deposits in the plain. And fertile soil, it is very good for crops. Okay. Fourth point, they help in causing rain in most part of the country. The Himalayas, it helps in causing rain also in most part of the countries. Okay. Fifth point and the last point, the forest on it gives shelter to many wild animals. They provide us useful timber, medical herbs, and many other useful materials. So these Himalayas, as in the lesser Himalayas, you find great lots of trees also in the lesser Himalayas and in the uh, outer Himalayas. So it is a home. It gives shelter to many wild animals. Many wild animals lives there, and it also provides us useful things like timber. It also provides us medical herbs. It provides us wood also. It provides us medicines also. Herbs it provides us, and in this way, the Himalayas are useful to us in many ways. Okay. Now the chapter is completed. Let us have a quick recap from Rewind. The Himalayas can be divided into three parallel regions according to their height. You know this. What are those? The Greater Himalayas, the Lesser Himalayas, or the Outer Himalayas. Okay. Second point, glaciers are huge masses of ice. This I've already explained to you. What are glaciers? These are huge deposits or huge masses of ice. The highest peak of the world is Mount Everest. The Mount Everest lies in the Himalayan range. Edmund Hillary and Shipra Tenzing were the first men to climb Mount Everest. This is a very GK question. No need to study this so much. Okay. So the chapter is complete. And if you have any doubt, you can ask me in WhatsApp. Okay. So first let me stop share screen. Okay. So after watching this video, what you will do, you will solve the worksheets in your rough copies, okay, and you will send the photo of that homework to in the class WhatsApp group. And if you have any doubt for further, you can ask to me through WhatsApp. Stay safe. This is the coronavirus pandemic, so I request you all to stay safe, stay healthy, and don't go out during this lockdown. And I hope we will meet very soon. By that time, bye.